Hello, in today's video we're going to be going over, is the Laffey Dockyard worth getting? An SAT score is going to help us go over some of the statistics of the missions that you'll be working on in the dockyard to see if this dockyard is worth getting or not. So before we talk about the ship, let's talk about the event itself. So let's hop on to it. So the dockyard, as you can see right here, currently in port, so you guys can currently get that right now. It's a patch 14.7. Looking at the phases right here. So at the very start of this dockyard, to be able to get Laffey, you have to pay 5,000 doubloons to get 2 phases, because in total there are 20 phases, and 18 of them you can get in the missions in the mission area for the dockyard. As you can tell right here, as we go over the missions, dockyard, as you can see right here, we're on week 1. And these are the missions for week 1. And for every week, there are new missions to grind for those 18 dockyard phase or shipbuilding phases. So we'll be going over the difficulty in the missions later, but I'm just explaining a little bit of the dockyard mechanics itself. So if you want to get the Laffey, you have to pay 5,000 doubloons at least. If you do plan on doing all of the dockyard phases. Of course, if you aren't able or don't want to do all the dockyard phases, you can pay extra. As you can see, 6 ships building here costs 12,500 doubloons, and any is 3,000. So if you want to whale out for the Laffey, you can as well. But one of my recommendations is always going to be just buy the bare minimum and do all the missions. But if you don't have time, then of course you can always pay for more. 5,000 doubloons is about 20 bucks. So 6 phases is going to be about 50 bucks worth. So give or take. All right. So going out of that from the doubloon cost, let's move on to the missions themselves. Is these missions worth grinding? Let me see. What do you think of the missions so far in the dockyard there, SAT? Because I was able to look at them a little bit, but what were you thinking about them? Because so far the first week looks pretty easy. They always make the first one really easy, but what are your thoughts so far?
So the dockyard missions are structured in the classic fashion. It's pretty much the same. If you've done the other dockyards, this one is very similar. The first couple of weeks will be relatively easy. You can knock it out within just really like about 10-15 games or so, depending on how efficient you are.
Mm-hmm.
But as you progress onto the later stages, they get progressively more grindy and have higher requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for example, let me double check here, but I'm pretty sure one of the later dockyard weeks has some BXP missions, which
Oh yeah,
is
it is
pretty hard to
very,
grind
yeah.
out.
So week 6, as you can see right here, there are ones earn 35k base XP in a CV, earn 40k base XP in a battleship, earn 3,800 and 500 base XP in a cruiser. Like, these are all very time consuming because they are separate. It's not just one put together, it's separate. So you have to grind them out in each of the classes to be able to do it. That's very difficult down the later lines. It's definitely more difficult than the previous dockyard. In the previous dockyard at this stage, it was just a base XP number and not the way it is like this. So they definitely upped the difficulty for this one. But in this particular dockyard, though, you're also able to grind in the new convoys, like the new in the Name of Tomorrow operation event. So these grindings are kind of going to be a little bit easier with that. So I bet you that's why they made it like more difficult, because of the fact that you can grind it out in those operations. What do you think about that?
It's a possibility, but definitely the operations are they're at least like more relaxing to grind in.
Mm-hmm.
For if you're looking to level up ships, you can also complete the dockyard at the same time.
Yep.
Just make sure you choose the appropriate ships to fulfill the specific dockyard missions.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, as we progress by each week, then new missions unlock.
Yep.
So at the time of recording, only the first week of missions are available. But starting next week, then the second round of missions become available. You still have to finish the first week set of missions in order to progress, though.
Mm-hmm.
So You can procrastinate a little bit just because the easier set of missions are of the earlier set are easier, but don't procrastinate too long as the difficulty starts ramping up at say around week 4 of week 5, and if you're not keeping on top of it, then you may just fall too far behind and just simply not have enough time to grind.
Mm-hmm.
As for the mission themselves, Wargaming gives you, I think it's about 10, 8 or no, it's about 9 missions, but you only need to complete 6 of them
Yep.
in order to progress. Uh, there are a couple missions though that give out a shipbuilding phase as the reward, so you should always be aiming to complete those anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So what I recommend is you complete 1 or 2 of the class-specific missions. If you feel like you have the appropriate ship, then you can try for the harder mission, the one at the bottom that rewards a rare bonus. And then, depending on what ships you have, and what resources you have, just complete a few of the other missions, and then you should be set for that week.
Mm-hmm. So let's just look at, so the first week is pretty simple, right? There's some earning base XP, earning regular XP for like for all the different classes. There's winning battles, incapacitations, potential damage, free XP, right? These are all pretty simple. So let's go over week 2. So let's just do an example here, okay? So we see a mission here for setting fires or causing flooding. That's a pretty easy mission to do. You can do it in operations, the new ones for in the name of tomorrow. You can do it in brawls, ranked, operation, the regular operations. It does cut your progress in half. So whatever you do on the regular operations is cut in half. So say you get 4 fires in the regular operations, you only get 2 fires that would count. And that's only for the regular operations and not for the name of tomorrow operations. Randoms and co-op, full progress. So you can do all the set on fire flooding in any of those modes. I would honestly recommend doing that in the new operations, taking a cruiser or a battleship. You can take a torpedo boat if you want, but it's really easy. It's way easier to get fires than it is floods. So I'd recommend just taking like a cruiser or a battleship and just spam the HE or let the secondaries do work. Any nation will work, so it isn't really particular. Earning 4.1 credit credits is really easy as well. That's pretty easy to do.
So some of these missions you can do at the same time.
Yep.
So they get set 30 on fire causing flooding.
Yep.
You'll likely be doing that anyways when you're trying to complete a class-specific mission. For example, the battleship mission is to get 1,200 secondary battery hits.
Yep.
So if you play something like Schlieffen or Libertad, you're naturally going to be generating fires anyways.
Yep.
So that's essentially completed on the side while you go play Schlieffen specifically for the battleship mission.
Yep. There's also one that says cause 120,000 HP of damage to ships by flooding or setting fires. So while you're setting fires and causing floods, you're also doing that mission as well. So a lot of these missions you can tie together to work on, or like be able to get multiple done at the same time. I would say the CV one, get 150 torpedo hits. I would just skip that one. That one's a pain. The battleship one, the cruiser one, destroyer one, all really easy to do. The torpedo one for subs, yeah, skip that one. Like you could, like it's 100 torpedo hits. Like it'd be kind of difficult.
Generally speaking, if you need X amount of ribbon hits or X amount of damage, you can usually do it in co-op or one of the operations or like the this event missions.
Yeah.
It's much easier since bots are a little bit more cooperative than human players. I would recommend doing a credit. If you're doing base XP or some other things, sometimes you will have to go into randoms or ranked. For example, like capture missions.
Yep.
That is kind of hard to do in operations. So instead, you have to kind of grid it in ranked or randoms. But that's kind of a judgment call depending on what ships you have available. Because we've been playing for a while, so we can complete any mission with about any ship we have. But if, say, for example, you don't have a good torpedo destroyer, but you do have a very good battleship, a secondary battleship, then just go play the secondary battleship and ignore the destroyer mission.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, for week 2, that in one battle received 1.4 million potential in randoms or ranked. That's really easy to do. You do that in a cruiser, battleship. You name and that cruiser or battleship would be the easiest for that one for sure. So
Just
for
do it at high tiers.
yeah,
A lot of these missions favor higher tier ships. That doesn't stop you, of course, from playing lower tier ships if you prefer playing down there or just don't want to spend a lot of credits.
mm-hmm. For week 3, earning the base XP, that's really easy. Just play anything you like. That's just easy. Just favor high tiers. For the secondary or main battery, you can do that with battleships, cruisers, DDs would probably be your main focus, for sure. High DPMs, AT spammers would work, or secondary battleships would work for sure for that one. 2500 ribbons, kind of the same thing. Just high HP spammers, farmers, secondary ships will work. Earning the XP, 130,000 XP. All you have to do is just use an economic bonus for ship, and you'll be able to get that really quick.
I only recommend doing that near the end
Yeah.
because it is possible you'll just complete it naturally through doing the other missions.
Yeah.
But if you're on like the third or fourth mission and it's looking a long ways away, then yeah, go ahead and use your boosters.
Mhm. Help your team cause 700,000 HP of damage upon your spotting. That could be a little bit annoying because of the fact that a lot of the time, even though you're spotting, a ship could also be spotting the people you're trying to spot, which means you don't get the damage. So that one's kind of rough for CVs. Cause 1.3 million HP of damage with main guns or secondaries. High tier battleship. Take a battleship in the operation, you'll have a blast. That'll be really fun.
Literally.
830 like all of these missions here, like this one, the second, like for the cruiser, that can be done in the operation. A lot of fun there. Destroyer, that can be done in the operation, or you can do PvP. Submarine, the submarine one, I would 250k damage with spotting. Oh, sorry, the spotting for the DD and spotting for the sub. DD one would be easier if you have like a high concealment destroyer, like a torpedo boat destroyer. That could work really well, or just a high concealment destroyer in general. That can work for that one. For the submarine, the high level spotting, a lot of the time the submarine isn't spotting. It's more like just react. Like you're kind of just trying to torp and dive, so you're not going to be doing too much spotting. So I don't know, I really want to do that one. In one battle, you get 4 destroyed and randoms are ranked. That's more just a luck of how good you play. So just play and maybe you'll get that one or not. For week 4, winning 10 battles, operation, co-op. That's just the easiest way to do it. Just get your 10 wins. Co-op would sound like it'd be the easiest. Like co-op is the easiest. Like if you just want to get the 10 battles done, right? Because it is one for the shipbuilding phase. You just want to get that done. 10 co-op battles. That's the easiest.
Yeah, but you're gonna get it naturally if you're gonna complete any other missions. So I would not worry about it.
Yeah. For 18 million potential damage, that would be best for a high tier battleship. Yep, high tier battleship for sure. And that'll just be done naturally, just by playing the operations, randoms, brawls, ranked, you name it. You'll just get that potential damage pretty easily. Shooting down 100 planes, that's pretty rough. Shooting down 100 planes or shooting down by fighters. You could, in theory, play a CV and be like an anti-CV build and be more aggressive to where you're more likely to go after their CV and make them fight you. You could do that, potentially. But that's like the only way you're going to guarantee to have a CV in your match, unless you're in a div where there is a CV player, like you're playing one or your friend is. And then you can take an anti-airship. That could also work as well for that one. Earn commander XP. You'll earn that over time by just playing. Ooh, earn 7 million credits for CVs, battleships, 6 million for cruisers and Ds, and 5 million for subs. Ooh, that's gonna be toughy. That's gonna.
Just play whichever class if you're comfortable in.
Yep.
And you can also use credit boosters to improve your progress.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the Commander EXP.
Yep. Moving on to week 5, it's starting to get a little bit more difficult. Help your team cause 140,000 HP of damage upon your spotting. That's best for aircraft carrier or destroyer would be best for that one. Get 30 destroyed ribbons. You'll get that naturally while playing, but you'll get that really well in those operations, the new ones, 100%, or co-op. 150k HP. You'll get that naturally by just playing. Cause 2.2 million damage to ships. You'll just get that by playing. Just focus on higher tiers. 1,600 ribbons in CVs. I would just personally skip that one. That just sounds like hell. 2,000 ribbons in battleship. Secondary battleship, you'll do perfectly fine. High 2,600 ribbons for a cruiser. High DPM HE or AP farming cruiser will do great. Destroyer, HE, any type of farming destroyer will be great. 500 ribbons for subs. Yeah, no, just don't do that. No, that's just hell. No. Mm-mm.
You could kind of try it if you have an I-56 and want to use the main guns. But it's still on the slow end, so just play something else.
Yeah. In one battle, cause 225,000 HP of damage to ships. You can do
Play
that.
Conqueror.
Yeah, play Conqueror or a super ship. You'll get it pretty quick. For number 6, this is where it starts getting really hard. Receive 15 million potential of damage. That's just playing anything high tier over time. And at this point, I believe that the World War II operations will be going on, so you can bring tier 9s into the operations. So you can take tier 9 battleships into the mode to do that. But you can do it in any game mode, really. In 10 battles, join the top 3 in your team by experience received. That's to just get good at that point.
You can also play ranked as well.
Yeah.
Ranked or operations where there's just less people.
That's also true. Ranked or brawls, technically.
Yep, if Brawls is on during that time.
Yeah, that's true. Cause 260k HP of damage to ships by setting fires or floods. Any torpedo boat destroyer or HE farming battleship or HE farming cruiser or DD, you'll farm it pretty quick. Earn 52,000 free XP. You'll get that by just playing. And
it kind of depends if you have the free XP boosters or not.
Yeah.
If you have some, then good for you. If you don't, unlucky.
And this is where you have to start getting base XP for individual classes. This is where the real grind starts to begin. So just pick your favorite battleships or cruisers or DDs or sub to play, because technically you do earn a lot of base XP in subs. That's one thing you earn a lot in is in subs. High level subs do earn a lot of base XP. So you can technically get through that one pretty quick. As long as you play decent, so don't just yellow and die. And you'll do great. In one battle, cause 15 set on fires or cause flooding ribbons. That's gonna be like a Conqueror, Thunderer, Smolensk, just heavy HE spammers. Zao can also work. Yodo, Naveski. There's so many different HE spammers you can use for that one. And for the final week, get 45 incapacitation ribbons. Any fast firing AP throwing cruiser can work. Petro works wonderfully with that. Or a big gun HE thrower like Conqueror. It can knock out the engines on destroyers, guns, torpedo tubes, you name it, it can slap it. But overall, just yeah. HE, like if you're using a big caliber gun like battleship, just slap HE onto DDs, they'll do really well. Or if you're using a cruiser, AP other cruisers, you'll knock out their guns or torpedo tubes, they'll do good there. Ribbons 3,500. That's just secondaries, high DPM ships, you name it. Base XP, time just playing. Cause 2.6 million HP of damage to ships with the main gun or secondaries. You'll do that over time. The new operations will do very well for damage. You'll get a lot of damage in them. So this one's I felt like this is like the most painful. Get 220 aircraft shot down or shot down by fighter ribbons in an aircraft carrier. That seems very painful. Unless you're playing, like, unless you get like extremely lucky. Like 220 planes is a lot.
You have to specifically go fight the enemy CV at that point. I would recommend a different mission altogether.
Yeah, I totally agree. Get 3,000 secondary battery hits or main battery hits in a battleship. Any of the secondary lines, Libertad, Schlieffen, would work wonderfully in that regard.
If the operation's still going on, then just play it in there because you'll get a lot of secondary battery hits.
Yep, 1,000%. Get 115 set on fires or cause flooding. Any of the HE spamming lines, Shannon, Yodo, Zhao, Booster, Des Moines, you name it. Any cruiser with HE, you can just do it at that point. Any of them will work. Any of them. And you can use it, you can do it on the operations too. It'll do great there. 100 set on fires or cause flooding. Any HE spamming DD, Haragumo, Daring, Kleber, Delny, any of those will work pretty well. Any, like, a Groningen will work really well in that regard. Marceau, all of those would work really well as well. Sherman. Get 20 destroyed ribbons with a sub. You could technically do that in co-op. Co-op could work with that. So, you could do it there. In one battle, get 10 Citadel hits, ribbons, and randoms are ranked. You can get lucky with like a Kleber on a broadside ship. Get lucky doing that, or in a Minotaur maybe. But that one's gonna be very difficult.
Petro is a pretty good pick since you can citadel a lot of different ships and play reasonably at range as well.
Okay. All right. So these are all the missions, right? So
one more thing.
What?
You can also play a German CV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, play a German CV, not the Immelmann, but play one of the Tech Tree CVs, or Lowenhart, or Aquila. They have AP rockets that will land a whole bunch of citadels on broadside cruisers. If you play at tier 6 or tier 8, you can also prey on the lower mid-tier cruisers that just gives out citadel ribbons. So actually, one of the few times I recommend a CV.
Yeah, very good point for that one. Okay, so we talked about the Dockyard event itself. Now let's talk about the Laffey. Is the Laffey itself worth it? With all this Dockyard stuff, is it worth it? And I think yes. The ship itself is very similar to a gearing. It has a similar hull to gearing and the Yu Yang. It also gets a super heal that heals 30% per charge, which is really nice. You have a toggleable smoke for 80 seconds that can turn off after a minimum of 10 seconds. So it helps you get into engagements and out of them really quickly. There is no way to increase that timer, so its maximum is 80 seconds. It does have the same DPM as a gearing, but you do get a burst fire, which is really nice. It does 3 salvos in that burst fire and has a 25-second cooldown with that. It's really useful when you're like disengaging targets, like using the smoke, or if you're going around an island. It does really well in that regard. Now, unfortunately, the torpedoes on this thing are very short. They have an 8-kilometer range, but all the other stats of this ship are pretty much the same as the gearing. Slow ship. It doesn't have no speed boost. Relies on the super heal to survive fights. Free DFA though. Anti-air isn't great, but the occasional flak wall feels good. So overall, I'd say like the ship is good enough to where you pay for the minimum You get the ship with the 5,000 doubloons. It's 20 bucks. Grind out the missions. If you want to get the 6 more dockyard stages, you can. That's 50. That's like 60 bucks. So in total, you would pay about 80 bucks for a tier 10 ship, going over all the missions. So I think that the Laffey is worth it in the end. It's also a historical ship. Has a lot of history in the game. Well, not in the game. Well, history IRL. And it's very cool that they brought it into the game. But yes, I definitely think the Laffey is worth it, and I would highly recommend it and you grinding out this dockyard. There's a lot of rewards in this event, and I definitely think it's worth it. Is there anything else you'd like to add, SAT?
So if you end up with more shipyard stages, then basically if you complete the dockyard and get Laffey, any extra shipyard stages you earn is converted to steel.
Yep.
At the rate of 250 steel for each phase completed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do want, you can buy steel this way. I don't recommend it since it's a bit expensive, but if you want, you have that option. As for the Laffey herself, 5k doubloons with a lot of extra rewards is a very good deal if you're willing to spend the time to do it. If you're a newer player and just don't have that many resources, you can still try it. You can still try to complete it. Each stage still offers some rewards that even if you have no interest in the ship herself, you can still grind for some rewards as part of your natural grinding.
Mm-hmm.
There's no downsides in that regard.
Yep.
And remember to pace yourself throughout the event. You can take it easy for a few weeks, but don't fall too far behind, or otherwise you may not have enough time to catch up at the very end.
Yep.
So, yeah, and then finally, if you have doubts about if you want to get Laffey or not, you can just choose not to pay 5,000 doubloons at the very start, and then just buy the 2 extra stages at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It will cost you 6,000 doubloons,
Yep.
which is a little bit more expensive, but at the same time, you're essentially guaranteed to get Laffey, and you don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry if something comes up and you're just not able to complete the dockyard.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for that, SAT. I do greatly appreciate it. But yep, that is going to be it for the day. If you guys have any questions or concerns, let us know in the comments down below. But thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the 14.7 patch.